Good morning and welcome to Newsline. It's Wednesday, December 11, 2013. I'm Chalapansa Narula. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. In today's top stories, Pheu Thai leader Charupong Ruangsuwan is confident that his party will win the next general election. And in the business news, the Center for Economic and Business Forecasting Center is hopeful that the coming general election will help stimulate the economy in 2014. But now let's have a look at today's headlines. Acting Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra on December 10 paid her respect to the statue of King Rama VII on the occasion of the Constitution Day. Caretaker Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra, along with her acting cabinet ministers, laid floral tribute to the statue of His Majesty King Prachatipok, also known as King Rama VII, who was the last absolute monarch and the first constitutional monarch of the country. His Majesty King Prachatipok was born on November 8, 1893. He was the seventh monarch of the Siam Kingdom under the House of Chakri. His reign was a turbulent time for Siam due to huge political conflicts, which led to a major change in the society, the Revolution of 1932. His Majesty was the only king in Chakri dynasty to abdicate. December 10 is the country's Constitution Day, which is celebrated nationwide by civil servants and also the Thai people. Acting Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra has informed the Cabinet of the reasons why she decided to dissolve Parliament and invited the Election Commission or EC to discuss registration dates for the general election.
Government spokesman T. Ratana Sewi said the Prime Minister told the Cabinet during its meeting that she dissolved the House of Representatives to return power to the people and relieve the ongoing political crisis. The Prime Minister also met with Secretary General of the EC, Putchong Nuttrawong, to talk about the election schedule. The EC has set the application period for party list MP candidates for December 23rd till the 27th and constituency MPs for December 28 this year until the 1st of January 2014. The advance poll is scheduled on 26 January 2014 and the actual election on February 2nd. The Election Commission has warned all election applicants, including the acting ministers, to be careful with their interview as it might violate the election law, especially the section on giving consideration for franchise. The Commission has confirmed it would allocate equal time for all parties to campaign on television. Following the House dissolution, Mr. Tira confirmed that the Cabinet could remain on normal duty during the caretaker period and hold its weekly meeting as usual.
Pheu Thai leader Charupong Ruangsuwan is confident that his party will win the next general election, while affirming that the government has to act as a caretaker. Acting Interior Minister Charupong Ruangsuwan, the leader of the ruling Pheu Thai party, expressed his confidence that Pheu Thai would once again prevail over the opposition Democrat Party in the forthcoming election scheduled for February 2, 2014. The party will today summon a meeting to discuss the party's strategies for the upcoming election, while trying to find the best possible solution to the ongoing crisis, one that does not affect the country's image and competitiveness. Lastly, Mr. Charupong asserted that the government had to, under the Section 181 of the Constitution, remain in a caretaker capacity lest it violate the Constitution. And Justice Minister Thaigasem Nitisiri has indicated that the declaration to set up a People's Parliament is against the democratic principle and a violation upon His Majesty's authority. According to Mr. Thaigasem, the chairperson of the Legal Committee at the Center for Administration of Peace and Order under the Constitution, the Prime Minister and the Cabinet Ministers must carry on duty until the general election is complete and a new Cabinet of Ministers is appointed. The demands of the People's Democratic Reform Committee, or PDRC, protesters are illegal, especially the declaration to set up their own People's Parliament and Cabinet of Ministers. Regarding the protesters' demand for the Prime Minister to resign now, Mr. Thaigasem asserted that under the Constitution, the Prime Minister and Cabinet members have an obligation to carry on their duties until the election is over and a new set of Cabinet ministers take office. New Zealand Foreign Affairs Minister Murray McCulloch is calling on all parties to respect the democratic process in Thailand after the government announced an early election. Mr. McCulloch says the New Zealand government has been concerned by the tensions in recent weeks and the risk of further bloodshed. Elections expected to take place in February demonstrate Yingluck government's commitment to a peaceful resolution. He commended the restraint shown by the Thai authorities and hoped this will carry through to the elections. He also expressed his belief that the best way to determine the will of the Thai people is through the ballot box, and urged all parties to see this as an opportunity to test their support. Thailand's constitution requires the election to be held 45 to 60 days from Monday's announcement. The foreign media have been monitoring the political situation in Thailand, paying very close attention to the Thai House dissolution.
CNN reported that Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra had announced the dissolution of Parliament following rising tensions from the week-long protests, adding that Ms. Yingluck did not want to see any more losses as the conflict had been destructive enough for the country. Meanwhile, Al Jazeera reported that while Ms. Yingluck had returned the power to the people and called for a general election, protest leader Suthep Thaugsuban confirmed that he would forge ahead with the protest because his goal had yet to be reached. An Al Jazeera reporter said the anti-government demonstrators wanted the whole Shinawatra family to quit politics, not just for the Prime Minister to resign, because if Ms. Yingluck won the next general election, she would definitely continue to fulfill her brother Thaksin Shinawatra's ambition. In the meantime, AFP said the reason why Ms. Yingluck dissolved the House and called for elections was that she wanted to resolve the long-drawn-out political crisis in the country, but the protesters insisted on continuing their rally, calling December 9th the Judgment Day. DPA, a German press agency, meanwhile reported that the government's decision to dissolve Parliament could not stop the protesters from marching to the government house, as they did not want Ms. Yingluck's administration to act as a caretaker government.
And police say government offices previously seized by rally-goers have sustained heavy damage. Police have begun to inspect the damage left by the demonstrators at government complex. Reports of the inspection show that the building's second-floor office has been rummaged through and government property looted and damaged. CPUs and hard disks have gone missing, whereas CCTV cameras have been destroyed, making it impossible to know who committed the crimes. This is the first day that police have examined the seized government offices since protests began on November 28th. And Acting Energy Minister Phongsak Rakapongpaisan has said the dissolution of Parliament does not affect the policies of the ministry. The acting minister said he would carry out his duty the best he could during the period leading to the election. He brushed aside concerns raised over his ministry's policy, saying the Energy Regulatory Commission would still be working. He also ensured that several of the current administration's policies, such as the solar rooftop project and the long-term electricity development programs, would proceed as planned. Meanwhile, Acting Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Kun Suthep Limsiricharan, echoed Mr. Phongsak's opinions, saying civil servants under the Energy Ministry would still do their duties despite the dissolution. He placed an importance on the monitoring projects that did not directly affect the public. According to the Federation of Thai Industries, Thailand is likely to face a shortage of more than 500,000 workers next year. The FTI said the industrial segment has a huge demand of at least 500,000 workers in 2014. 80% of the number consists of unskilled labor, while the remaining 20% is skilled labor, adding that it is not a good sign for the country's labor industry when ASEAN Economic Community is realized. He said the estimate is made given the constant global economic recovery and a 5% growth in the Thai exports. However, according to the FTI expressed concerns that political parties might use a minimum wage hike as a tool to lure voters. And if that happened, the wages could rise to a range of 400 to 500 baht by the year 2015, causing a heavy burden to the capital costs. The FTI said the current minimum wage policy has already put several SME operators in a difficult spot. The FTI will therefore focus on enhancement of production efficiency and reduction of labour dependency in 2014. And we'll now take a break. Up next, the Ministry of Finance is looking to evaluate economic effects from the political demonstrations. Don't go away.
Open the world of information. Embrace public participation. Present Thai-ness to the world. New dimension of the government's public relations. The 80th anniversary of the Public Relations Department. Creative media for the society. Mobilizing Thailand towards the ASEAN community.
เมื่อมนุษย์ทำลายสมดุลทางธรรมชาติแล้วมนุษย์ก็เป็นผู้ประสบภัยพิบัติจากธรรมชาติร่วมสร้างอนาคตลดภัยพิบัติระดมพลังพลิกฟื้นคืนผืนป่าในทุกชุมชนทั่วประเทศ
For those who have Android smartphones, you can download a PRD News application by searching for PRD News English in Play Store. That way, you can stay up to date with the latest happenings in Thailand.
You're watching Newsline. Now to the business news. The Ministry of Finance is looking to evaluate economic effects the political demonstrations have had on the economy after discovering that a large number of foreign tourists have decided against visiting Thailand. And the numbers, of course, have declined as well. According to the Ministry of Finance, it will evaluate how current Ministry finance policies, including the rice mortgage program, and investments in the 350 billion baht water management project and the 2 trillion baht infrastructure project will contribute to economic expansion from now on. The effects of the political demonstrations over the past month on the economy are now clearly visible. A large chunk of foreign tourist arrivals has disappeared because of the tourist concerns over rallies turning violent. Investors have also delayed their investments to wait for more clarity in Thai politics. Meanwhile, Bank of Thailand Deputy Governor Krek Wanikul said he believed the parliament dissolution was a positive development in the political situation. However, House dissolution may cause investments from the state sector to be somewhat delayed, and this may have some effects on economic expansion. He, however, believed that the various investment projects would be able to proceed as planned when a new administration took office. And the Association of Domestic Travel, or ADT, revealed that the tourism industry's concerns over the political situation have eased up as positive signs have been seen following the dissolution of the parliament.
According to the Association of Domestic Travel, the House dissolution has effectively reduced tensions in Thai politics and led to an improvement in the country's tourism. Nonetheless, concerns over the political situation have driven the number of inbound tourists since the end of November down by 400,000 or 15%, and the number of domestic tourists down by 30%. During this period alone, the nation's tourism segment has missed the targeted number of tourists by 1 million or 4 billion baht worth of revenue. The ADT stated that the private sector would keep an eye on the next government in terms of its tourism promotion policy and who would take on the tourism and sports minister post. In addition, the private sector prepares to take advantage of the current patriotic trend in the country by launching a campaign encouraging Thai people to travel domestically. The campaign will also impose a quota on overseas field trips conducted by government agencies and state enterprises and instead promote domestic field trips through various promotions.
The Center for Economic and Business Forecasting is hopeful that the coming general election will help stimulate the economy in 2014 and profit campaign-related businesses. Director of the CEBF, Thanawat Phomvichai said the election scheduled on the 2nd of February 2014 was expected to generate around 40 to 50 billion baht in the case that all parties participated in it. The election might also help increase next year's growth rate by 0.3 to 0.4%, according to the Center for Economic and Business Forecasting. The election could help add money to the economy, which would in turn boost domestic consumption. The poll would benefit many businesses, especially those dealing with printing, advertising, and stereo equipment. However, if some major parties chose not to contest in the election, the amount of money generated could decrease to 20 billion baht due to lower campaign activities. Thai stocks were volatile throughout the trading day of December 9th on the back of local protests, with the SCT index closing at 1,367.42 points. That's up 5.85 points, and approximately 23.4 billion baht worth of stocks changing hands. December 9 was the day Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra dissolved the House of Representatives, resulting in the volatility of stock market. Stocks fell during the first half of the day, but the SCT index managed to recover and close at 1,367.42 points. The most traded stocks by value were True Corporation, Kasikorn Bank, Airports of Thailand, Advanced Info Service, and Jasmine International. Federation of Thai Capital Market Organizations Chairman Phaiboon Nalintarangkoon said the stock market's volatility was due to the country's current political instability. However, he believed the market would perform better after the Premier's dissolution of the House, and the move was considered a path towards reconciliation. The markets were closed yesterday due to the constitutional holiday, and we'll see the direction of the SDT when the market opens today at 10 in the morning. And before we take a break, let's have a look at the exchange rates and also the commodity prices.
Pak, เมื่อไหร่เราจะได้ข้าวเยอะๆสำหรับเลี้ยงครอบครัวเราล่ะป้า
ไม่ต้องกังวลแล้วนะครับอันนี้คือข้าวเมล็ดพันธุ์ดีปลอดสารพิษตามพระราชดำริของพระองค์ท่านเพื่อฟื้นฟูนาล้างและเพิ่มศักยภาพของพื้นที่นาเดิมให้ได้ผลผลิตมากขึ้นนะครับ
เข้าใจเข้าถึงพัฒนา My Idol คนต้นแบบจังหวัดชายแดนภาคใต้โครงการประชาสัมพันธ์สนับสนุนการแก้ไขปัญหาในพื้นที่จังหวัดชายแดนภาคใต้กรมประชาสัมพันธ์
For those who have Android smartphones, you can download a PRD News application by searching for PRD News English in Play Store. That way, you can stay up to date with the latest happenings in Thailand.
Welcome back. You're still with us right here on Newsline. The flood situation in the south has begun to improve as water levels have receded in many areas. However, certain areas in Songkhla province continue to be hit by heavy rains, especially in the Khon Khanun and Mueang districts, where Songkhla Lake is located nearby. However, flood situations in other districts of Songkhla have already returned to normal. As for Pattani province, the water level in the Ping River has subsided, but still overflowing the banks, causing inundation in some areas of Pattani's Mueang district. Residents living in flooded areas have to rely on boats for transportation, while the water level is around 50 centimeters deep. Meanwhile, the Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation in Trang province has inspected a rubber plantation, which has been partly damaged by a rain-triggered landslide. Fortunately, there were no reports of injuries or property damage. Officials have put up signs and set up a perimeter, warning people to avoid the area. And the high-pressure cell covering Thailand's upper region is forecast to contribute to sustained chilly weather and morning fog in the north. Locals in the northern and northeastern provinces have become afflicted by the cold. And in Phrae, residents have been seen to clutter around bonfires in the mornings to alleviate the cold. Chiang Rai, however, has seen an increase in the number of visitors because of the cold spell. Accommodation near the Doi Phu Pha Tang in Vieng Can district has been fully booked, boosting the income for lodge owners there. The Commerce Ministry is holding a New Year's gift fair at the end of this month to stimulate public spending.
According to Director General of the Department of Internal Trade, Somchat Soithong, the Commerce Ministry has joined hands with various New Year gifts vendors holding a fair during the third week of this month. The items being offered at discount prices in the fair include commodity products, OTOP and SME goods. The Ministry and participating vendors have been discussing about the time and place of the event. The fair, which is to run for 3 days, is likely to be held at Impact Arena in Muang Thong Thani. Furthermore, the Department of Internal Trade, in its bid to ensure fair trades, has stepped up its goods and price inspections ahead of the year's end, dispatching department officials to markets nationwide. The department's move is its way of addressing the growing consumer concerns that vendors may put low-quality goods or near-expired goods on their New Year gift basket shelves. The department has asked for cooperation from retailers, supermarkets and vendors to be upfront and fair about their products, saying that they must be willing to refund or exchange if their goods are found to be of poor quality or expired.
And that concludes today's edition of Newsline. If you do have any suggestions, any comments or stories that you would like us to cover, please feel free to write your comments to us, and the email address is now on your screen. It is newsline.nbt@gmail.com. We'll be saying goodbye today and also reminding our viewers that there will be a live broadcast of the opening ceremony of the 27th SEA Games in Naypyidaw, Myanmar at 6 p.m. today right here on NBT or Channel 11. So stay tuned for the opening ceremony of SEA Games in Myanmar. It's time for us to say goodbye. I'm Cholapan Sanarula and our news team here from Newsline. Do have a great day and we'll see you tomorrow. Sawasdee ka.